Hello and welcome to this Let's Play of Morrowind. I'm Waze and there's a few things I just want to get out of the way before we kick off. Firstly, I'm going to be role-playing this, so very much a kind of doing what my character would do and working with the knowledge my character has rather than doing what I would do and using my metagame knowledge in those situations. I'm going to play this at a slow pace. I have a tendency while playing these games, which I love to bits, all the Elder Scrolls games, to rush through them. What I want to do on this experience is to actually savor it and enjoy it, slow it right down and enjoy everything the game has to offer, the lore, the books and everything else. So I'm going to take my time and work through it. I do have a backstory, which hopefully you've watched the prologue, which gives you an idea. It's Za'Siri is an ex-slave who has spent time in Morrowind, and this is about his return to Morrowind and the revenge he is looking to enact on those he feels has wronged him. So this first video is going to be a character generation video. So I'll be going through a bit more backstory, why I'm setting the character up the way I am. I'll be talking about some mods and a few other bits and pieces. So I'm going to do this as a separate video. So this is episode 0. If you want to skip all this, you can just go straight to episode 1. And without any further ado, let's kick on.
Wake up. We're here. Why are you shaking? Are you okay? Wake up. Stand up. There you go. You were dreaming. What's your name?
My name is Za'Siri.
Well, not even last night's storm could wake you. I heard them say we've reached Morrowind. I'm sure they'll let us go. Quiet. Here comes the guard.
This is where you get off. Come with me. Get yourself up on deck and let's keep this as civil as possible.
No problem. Wow, it's bright. Glad to get off this ship.
This is where they want you. Head down to the dock and I'll show you to the census office.
Follow me up to the office and they'll finish your release.
Well, Morrowind, it's been a long time.
Yes, we've been expecting you. You'll have to be recorded before you're officially released. There are a few ways we can do this, and the choice is yours.
Okay, so I am not going to be picking a pre-generated class. I'm going to go for a custom class. And Za'Siri is, I'm not going to worry about what it's called. I'll leave it as adventurer. Specialization. Za'Siri is very much going to be a stealth character. And favored attributes, I'm going for agility and personality. Za'Siri is primarily going to be looking at avoiding as much as possible and trying to persuade and manipulate and worm his way into things. So both those attributes are going to be important. Now, major skills, definitely going with security and sneak. And there's a little bit of backstory on that. Za'Siri spent time in prison with a Dunmer called Cedrin Villas, who taught him many things. And while they were in prison, they used to practice picking the lock on the cell door and sneaking down the corridors, trying not to get seen by the guards, and then sneaking back to their cells. They couldn't get all the way out, but they practiced skills inside. I'm also going to be taking Marksman. Now, on this one, in terms of the backstory on this, it's very hard to practice when you're a slave or when you're in prison. So the backstory here is they practiced with using just small projectiles, and Cedrin would have taught Za'Siri things about aim and about breathing and about patience and all these things. So where I'm going with this is Za'Siri is going to be using throwing weapons as of a sort of a main weapon. Now, Cedrin has advised him to learn the crossbow at some point, and the way I'm going to work that in is at some point he'll buy a crossbow, and we'll go and get some training in marksman to learn how to use the crossbow, and that's how I'll weave that into the story. Generally, I don't tend to use a lot of training, especially on skills I use a lot. The only things I sort of train on really, security and sneak can be quite hard to level up, so I might take some training in those, but I try and avoid it for most other things. So security, sneak, marksman. I'm also going to take speechcraft, as I've said already, as a major, and I'm also going to take illusion as a major. And the background here, Cedrin knew a little bit of magic, and he shared that with Za'Siri, so he doesn't know a lot. He's learned about its usefulness from Cedrin, and his plan is to learn more about that. Minor skills, I'm going to be taking short blade. Za'Siri is going to try and avoid up close and personal combat if he can at all costs. So his aim is to avoid where he can, getting in situations where he can get hit, and if he does find himself in those situations, is to try and avoid being hit in the first place. And on that basis, I'm also going to take block, because if he is in that situation, he wants to do everything he can to try and not be hit. Other minor skills I'm going to take mercantile. Za'Siri wants to earn money, build up his presence in Morrowind, worm his way in with people, try and get some influence, and he's going to need money to do that. So that's why mercantile is in there. I am also going to take alteration. Again, something Cedrin taught Za'Siri about, and this is about mostly about being able to get to difficult to reach places. So things like levitation, water walking, are going to be useful in those situations. And last but not least, so I'm not taking block. I'm not going to be really taking any other weapon skills there. I'm only taking illusion and alteration from magic. So there's going to be no alchemy, no making potions, so no exploits on selling potions, no restoration. So in terms of healing, it's really going to be down to whatever potions that Za'Siri can find or buy. So that's all on the magic. Security sneak I've got. I'm not going to take any armor. It doesn't mean Za'Siri won't wear it, but if he finds something that's useful and suits his character in terms of how it looks or its usefulness, then he may wear it. But generally he's going to be going with unarmored, but I'm still not going to take it as a skill. So essentially, apart from the block and trying to avoid things, not a lot of protection, but I am going to take acrobatics as well, which will hopefully help with the jumping around and avoiding stuff. So stealth, agility, personality, mages, security, sneak, marksman, speechcraft, and illusion. And then the minors, short blade, block, mercantile, alteration, and acrobatics. Now I am using a mod called Natural Character Growth and Decay. This is a leveling mod. What it does is it takes the leveling system sort of away from you. It does all the work in the background, and it works on the basis of the skills that you're using. And whereas in the vanilla game it's the major skills, I think it's just the major, it might be the minor as well, I can't remember, but essentially it's either major only or major and minor affect your leveling. With this mod, all skills that you use can contribute to your leveling. The good thing about that is I've taken these skills at the start, but if as the character develops, I find another skill that I start using a lot, I won't be penalized for that. But the mod also means I don't have to worry about leveling or which training in certain skills so I can level up an attribute. it will basically do all of this in the background itself, so I don't need to worry about that.
Very good. The letter that preceded you mentioned you were born under a certain sign. And what would that be?
Okay, on the sign, I am using Morrowind Rebirth, which tends to be a mod that people either love or hate. I can't imagine playing without it. I just like the way it fills out the world, and I enjoy the sort of nerfing game changes that it puts in there as well. Gives you a bit more challenge. So a lot of these have been toned down from what they were in the vanilla game. I'm not going to go through all of those now. Essentially, I'm going to be taking Za'Siri was born under the sign of the lover, and the reason I'm taking this is mainly for this fortify agility 20 points. I think it was 25 points in the original game, so it's been taken down a bit. And also this paralyze for 10 seconds on target, which could be extremely useful. It's a once a day power, but it definitely will come in handy at times.
Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this information is correct.
Okay, Za'Siri, Gachit, the lover. Starting off with a very, very low health. Strength 40, intelligence 40, willpower low at 30. Agility's at 80. It's high, again, just in terms of being a Khajiit, and the extra 20 from the birth sign. Speed's a standard 40. Endurance is a low 30. Personality 50, which is going to be helpful, and luck of 40. Now, one other thing the mod Natural Character Growth and Decay does is it alters these once it is activated, which will happen shortly. So once it activates, it will look at the majors and minors I've selected, the sign I've selected, and in the background it will adjust all of these figures. Sometimes that might actually increase your level, sometimes it doesn't. I never know exactly what it's going to do with the character because it's all based on a combination of all these different things that have been selected. So we'll find out what that does.
Show your papers to the captain when you exit to get your release fee.
Okay, I presume this is them. Okay, we have our release papers. And I'm presuming we're done. Okay.
Continue through to the next building and talk to Sellus Gravius.
Okay, now Za'Siri isn't a thief, but what he is he's a survivor and he's resourceful. So if necessary, he's going to take what he can. He's been on a ship for God knows how long. He is hungry and he is penniless, so he needs some cash. So at this moment in time, while there's no one around, he's going to take some things. Thieving isn't going to be a major occupation, but if he needs to survive or get something, then he's going to take what he can. This dagger could be useful, and we'll take a few other things as well. At this point, as I said, desperate, and anything that looks like it might be worth something, he needs the cash desperately. Okay, and these a few bob as well. Okay, let's see if we can unlock this. As you might notice, I'm using a UI mod called Monochrome UI. It doesn't change a lot. I just find it's a little easier on the eyes, a little cleaner and smoother, and I've enjoyed using it since I started. So let's see if we can unlock this small chest. Oh, come on. Finally. Anything in here? Yep. So ingredients here. Za'Siri is taking them because they can be sold or they're food to eat. So won't be doing alchemy, but ingredients can still be useful. As with all these, go to the obligatory barrel. I have to take the ring from here or it won't let me out. That's worth 5. I will take it. Okay. Now let's go and see Sellus Gravius. I've been told to see you before I leave. First, let me take your identification papers. Thank you. Word of your arrival only reached me yesterday. I am Sellus Gravius, but my background is not important. I'm here to welcome you to Morrowind. Okay. What can you tell me about Morrowind? Yes, you're in Morrowind. I don't know why you're here or why you were released from prison and shipped here, but your authorization comes directly from Emperor Uriel Septim VII himself, and I don't need to know any more than that. When you leave this office, you're a free man, but before you go, I have instructions on your duties. Instructions from the Emperor, so pay careful attention. Okay, what are these duties? This package came with the news of your arrival. You are to take it to Caius Casades in the town of Balmorra. Go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for Caius Casades. They'll know where to find him. Serve him as you would serve the Emperor himself. I also have a letter for you and a dispersal to your name. Okay. Now, Za'Siri has no intention of doing anything with this. All he wants to do is to get his freedom finally, and then he has his own mission. So, what can you tell me about the law in Morrowind? Theft, trespass, assault, foul murder, and contempt are serious crimes. Contempt is an interesting one. Criminals pay compensation or serve sentences of punitive labor. If you commit a crime, turn yourself into any guard and pay your fine. If you don't have the gold, you'll have to do punitive labor. Take my word for it, you don't want to do punitive labor. Oh, and remember that in Morrowind, slavery is legal, and theft of or damage to slaves will get you into trouble. Yes, I'm well aware that slavery is legal. So tell me, what's the state of slavery at the moment? Though there are some abolitionists who work against slavery through legal means, there are others, like the Twin Lamps, who subvert the law and help slaves escape their owners. It was to counteract such theft that the Slave Hunters were formed. Slave Hunters? The Slave Hunters is an organization you should be aware of while you're in Vardenfell. Their stated mission is to track down escaped or stolen slaves and return them to their rightful owners. Okay, this is interesting information. Za'Siri is obviously needs to be aware of these slave hunters that are about. His feeling is he would like to return them to their rightful place in the ground. And also this Twin Lamps organization sounds like they could be someone that could be useful to Za'Siri. Anything else I want to ask this guy? What can you tell me about Balmorra? Balmorra is north of Seyda Neen. The road passes Pelagiad village and Fort Pelagiad, crosses a deep ravine, passes Fort Moonmoth, then turns west across the Odai River and into Balmorra. The South Wall Corner Club is in southeast Balmorra on the east side of the river. For more detailed directions, talk to Alone the Scout at Ariel's trade house here in Seyda Neen. But take my advice, you're new here. Take the Silt Strider to Balmorra. Fast, cheap, safe. Cross the bridge and head east. Can't miss it. Za'Siri is aware of Silt Striders. He never would have ridden on one, but from his time in Morrowind, he would have heard of them and seen them from a distance. Okay, I think we're done here. Thank you very much, Sellus. I will be on my way. Now this is natural character growth and decay kicking in. You get the option of how fast your attributes grow. I'm just going to go with standard, and they also decay over time, and I'm just going to go with standard with that as well. It's a new game. Okay, it's now going to adjust my attributes, so we'll go and have a look at what it's actually done. So strength 40, not a lot of change there. Intelligence 44, willpower has I think that's moved a little bit. Agility up to 92. Now that would be because of I've picked a lot of agility things in here. I would expect personality to go up as well because of the personality traits skills. Luck has jumped a bit, and my endurance has dropped even further to 27. So yeah, a little weak. I'm a level 2 and I only have 55 health, but we will work with what we have. And now we are in Seyda Neen proper, and we are ready to embark on this mission, this adventure. So I'm going to leave that there, and in the next episode we will kick on and get on with this. So until next time, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.